What if you could finally quiet the meanest, most negative thoughts in your mind right now with one simple shift? That's what today's episode is all about.
Life is beautiful.
The Theo Bros Podcast.
Yo, how we doing? I am Mike Theo,
I am Nick Theo,
and you are listening to the Theo Bros Podcast.
where you can count on daily wisdom to get your mind right.
What do you do when your own mind turns against you? As we mentioned in a previous episode, we recently interviewed Mo Gawdat, the former chief business officer at Google. And like we said in the previous episode, at one point in his life, this guy has it all. He's a brilliant engineer. He's a proud father. He's insanely wealthy. Until one night, everything changed. His 21-year-old son, Ali, goes in for a routine appendix surgery. But after 5 consecutive mistakes in the operating room, Ali tragically loses his life suddenly. In an instant, Mo's entire world completely collapses. And he goes on to tell us how his brain tortured him in the aftermath. It was telling him things like, you should have stopped this, you could have done more, you failed him, and his thoughts became unbearable. But Mo is an engineer, and engineers solve problems. So he tried something very unusual. He gave his brain a name. And that name is Becky. So suddenly, those cruel thoughts that he was having were not him anymore. They were Becky. And he could actually debate with Becky. He could talk to Becky, and he can set appointments with Becky and say, you know what, I'll come back to you later, Becky, but what you're saying right now is not helpful. He literally had conversations with his brain as if it was this separate entity. And he said doing that, naming his brain and realizing that he was not his thoughts, that this brain was this separate component, a tool for his soul, as opposed to who he was, he said completely saved him and gave him so much peace in this really, really challenging time.
Yeah, that's super powerful. I mean, the objectivity that allows you to do is really the power to this trick, right? It's realizing that we are not our thoughts, which is sometimes what we get confused about. And Michael Saylor talks about that.
Michael Saylor, the guy who loves Bitcoin?
No, not that one. Michael Singer. That's who it is.
Way too orange pilled. Jesus Christ.
No,
Michael Saylor.
Michael Singer talks about it. Michael Singer talks about the inner voice in your head in his book, The Untethered Soul. And he says, there is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Mo figured out when he named his brain Becky.
Yeah, well, first of all, that is like the craziest story ever. Like, can you imagine your son goes in for a routine appendix surgery and just doesn't come out? Like, talk about your expectations not being met. I mean, that is insane. You don't expect in a routine surgery that your son tragically passes away. So if naming his brain could work for him in that scenario, it can work for basically anyone, because that's like, I can't imagine something more painful than that. And I've actually started naming my brain as a result, because we hear it all the time. You are not your thoughts. You're like, if you're in the spiritual realm, like you hear these words all the time. Eckhart Tolle says it, like, you are not your thoughts. You have control over them, yada, yada, yada. But I always lack the tool to be able to like snap into that reality, because your thoughts can be very convincing and very overpowering.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in those anxious and depressed states, they make you feel like they are you.
Yeah.
And so now giving it a name, this little simple hack has been so powerful for me. I asked you one day, what should I call my brain? Because I want to start calling it something. And you were like, I don't know, how about Bobby? And I was like, how about Bobby Bacala? So now I name my brain Bobby Bacala, and we both talk about Bobby in the third person. So whenever I am like acting anxious or stressed or whatever, you actually don't talk to Mike, you talk to Bobby, and you tell Bobby like to calm down, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's just a really simple hack that
allows you to raise above thought.
Exactly.
And there's a great Buddhist teaching. So Buddhist teachers sometimes refer to thoughts as tigers. But the moment you notice them, you put them in a cage. Awareness tames thoughts. And that's exactly what happens every time you refer to your brain in the third person as the person that's creating these thoughts, as you bring awareness and you tame those tigers.
Yeah. So Bobby Bacala has 60,000 thoughts a day, just like every other brain. So science says all brains on average have around 60,000 thoughts per day. And actually, no, sorry, that's false. We wrote a keynote a while back that had that stat, and then I actually realized there's updated information and updated science. It's actually closer to 6,000 thoughts per day. So even so, we have a lot of thoughts per day. 80% of them are negative. So Bobby Bacala, all day long, is trying to spit negative shit to me because his main goal is to protect me. Is to protect me from threats. He's a problem-seeking machine. He loves getting his teeth into problems. And that can destroy my peace. And so to have this relationship with Bobby has been really, really impactful for me. To talk about Bobby in the third person is really, really nice because it allows me to not be in all of those 80% negative thoughts that it's trying to spin up all day long. And one thing we learned from our coach, Ron, shout out Ron Carucci from Navalent, was you don't have to be mean to Bobby. You don't have to be mean to your brain. Like, he is only trying to protect me. He has my best interest in mind. So it's not like, oh my God, I got to get these thoughts out of my head. Shut up, Bobby. You're not help. Like, you don't be mean to it. You want to have a relationship with your brain. And so the thing that Ron taught us was when a negative thought or a negative emotion comes up, meet it at the porch. So go outside of your house, imagine that your body's like a house, and go to the porch and welcome it the same way you would welcome a stranger. Hey, what's up? What's going on? What are you here to teach me right now? Meet it at the porch. That's not to say you let it in your house and wreck everything and just destroy everything. You meet it at the porch, you see if it's useful, and then you send them on its way politely.
If it's a useful one, you invite them in, and if not, you have some coffee together. But if it's one that's just negative and not helping you at all, you just say, actually, I'm quite busy right now. Yeah, so you're gonna have to take a walk and come back another day, maybe.
Yeah. So let's end with a call to action here.
What do you got? What's the CTA, bro?
Name your brain.
Name your brain.
What are you gonna name your brain? You haven't named your brain.
I've been thinking about it. And I've been looking up B names that start with B, and I settled on. I already forgot what I settled on. So what?
Are you kidding me?
So I think I might just have to steal Bobby.
No, bro. We can't have the same name brain.
Why?
How about Billy?
Billy? All right, Billy's fine.
All right,
my
so
brain
Billy
will be
and Bob.
Billy. Bob and Billy, Billy and Bobby.
All right. Name your brain.
All right, that concludes today's episode. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you.
Peace.
Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end.
If you're new here, we share daily mindset motivation in 10 minutes or less.
So if that's your vibe, hit subscribe or check out another episode right here.